Anthony, creator of Another Monday. I'm being welcomed by Nathan Alamillo, also known as Natracks. Hello, Nathan.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, Nathan. Thank you for joining us. For those that don't know, Nathan's a producer. And, well, I wanted to know a little more about what inspired you to become a producer, the steps to become a producer.
Yeah, it was a process.
Mm-hmm.
It was a process. I remember when I was really young, I did piano lessons,
Mm-hmm.
and I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
I hated it. I didn't like it.
How come?
I don't think I was good.
But now I see you in the studio when we go, like you use the piano,
Yeah,
or I mean, it's considered a keyboard or a piano, right?
yeah. Well, it's a MIDI keyboard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'm not that. I mean, I had to learn that.
Mm.
I had to learn that. But even when I was in lessons, I wasn't good at music.
Mm.
Um, I never sang. I remember when I was really young, my I liked music a lot,
Mm.
and there were songs that they really connected with me, and it felt like they knew what I was going through. I could just play a song, and then the emotion would like be there with me.
Mm.
So I would try to sing. I remember I don't know, maybe 8 or something, and I went to my dad and I was like, Dad, how do you sing? I asked him, I looked at my dad is like this,
Yeah,
you know, my dad, he's
yeah.
not
No emotion, a
artsy,
little
no emotion. And he just looked at me, he's like, no, you have to be born
born
like that.
to sing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I took that to heart. So I was like, okay, I guess
Did you think you couldn't do it at that point?
yeah, I never tried to
Mm.
sing. I never tried to sing. And it wasn't until later, like my cousin Brandon,
Yeah, Brandon.
amazing singer.
Mm-hmm.
That man is like born to sing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, okay, he's a singer. So it's so great. And then he was making music. And then, I would help him out a little bit. So that's how I started, as I really liked music. I liked making music. I liked creating it. It didn't make sense to me. I was always the logical person.
Mm-hmm.
I was good at math.
Mm-hmm.
I was good at numbers and um, never creative. So it was kind of like a weird left field thing for me. I liked math because there was an answer.
Mm. And music, do you think there's an answer?
There's no answer. There's just what is in front of you.
Yeah.
There's just like next step. It's creative.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess touching on that, when you're making or producing a song, because I mean, for those who don't know, like you also make music too. You just released a song a couple weeks ago. And what goes into making the song? Like, what's the backbone or the structure of making the song?
Like how it starts.
Yeah, like from step one, you're like first day in the studio, the first 10 minutes, to make your own song.
Well, my own song, yeah, it's different. Every song is different.
Yeah.
My own song, some songs I've dreamt,
Mm.
literally come out like I wake up from a dream or I'm in a dream and I make the song in my dream
Mm.
and I wake up and I'm like, that was good. And then I was like, I haven't even created it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have to literally like I record it on my phone like a voice memo to hold it, and then later I come back to it. But it's a different for every song. That song that I released
Mm-hmm.
this month, I was just playing the piano,
Mm-hmm.
and as I was playing it, I started really enjoying what I was playing,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like that, and I just put it down, and I just put down that piano, and then you just follow what you think the song needs. So it's like, okay, I'll try this, try that. So next thing you know, I have drums. Next thing you know, um, I released, I put that song up on my Instagram. And then my friend
Yeah.
he's on that song. And
Yeah.
then he hit me up and he said, dude, what is this instrumental? He liked it. He
Yeah.
wanted it. And I was like, oh, like, I think I'm going to keep it. And he was like, well, if you need anyone on it,
Mm-hmm.
let me know. And I was like, I'd love to have you on it. So
Yeah.
he jumped on it. I recorded it, and I mean, it's different. To answer your question, it's different for every song,
Mm-hmm.
but you follow. It's just, it just comes.
Yeah.
The ideas come.
Yeah. So How long did that song take you to make? Was it, I mean, every song probably takes an hour. I mean, some can take an hour, some can take a day, a week, a month. How long did that song take you?
I can't even remember because it was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Oh.
2 years
Oh
ago.
yeah, I remember you were saying in the
It's
studio. Yeah.
2 years ago.
Uh-huh.
Over 2 years probably. And when I made it, it probably took me around 4 hours to create the instrumental and then maybe get a chorus on it. It took probably 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but to mix it and master it, and then the revisions we did, and then recording with Angelo,
Mm-hmm.
all in all, probably 8 to 10 hours.
Damn, it's a big process.
Yeah.
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 Well, I also wanna something that I was talking to about with your sister, Kelsey. And for those who don't know, like she's my girlfriend. But so I struggle a lot with even starting this podcast, or I struggled a lot, like to get to this point. Like, and I asked you like a couple weeks ago, how did you stop what you were doing? You stopped college and you basically began this journey as a producer, even though you said your parents had they had their own thoughts at the time. How did you get through that? And maybe you can share what their experience
Yeah,
or
there
like your
was
experience was.
there's it's not um like it wasn't like I didn't think about how I would like what I was doing. Like I was worried, I had fear, I had anxiety, I had worry, and I had doubts, and then I had my choice. And see, when you have a choice, I made a choice, and everything that followed was just, this is what you choose. And I remember moments like when I released my first song ever. I'll never forget how hard it was for me to release that because
Yeah.
wasn't, it was like, you know, who am I to release a song to have all these people, all my friends, all the people who knew me, have them hear my music, and then it's open, it's vulnerable. You can be judged. It was ass. It was
Hmm.
bad. It was not a good song. And, but I'm so grateful because I can release a song today. I don't think twice about it.
What allowed you to take that step or that leap forward? Like,
I think
because a lot of people struggle with that. Like, well, personally, like I'm a probably struggle a lot to release this episode here. Click the post button. So, and there's a lot of people who want to start things online or post things online, and they're scared to be judged. And how do you take that first step
well,
or
all I can remember, I can tell you how I do it today, but when I
yeah.
did it, all I remember was the love I had for the music,
Mm,
the love I had for that song, that I wanted people to hear it.
mm-hmm,
So there was my fear, but then I just, there's the love that you have for what you're doing. And that was bigger than the fear. So I just did it. I just did it. And then I wanted to do it again. And then, people said they liked it, even if they probably lied,
mm-hmm,
because it wasn't a great song. It felt good
mm-hmm,
and it was encouraging.
mm-hmm.
And I wanted to do it again. I wanted to connect with people on a deeper level. That's why I do music. But today, there's fear releasing and doing it. I don't really have fear releasing. Maybe because I've done it so much, or maybe
Mm-hmm.
because it just is me at this point. But when I do have fear, there is, you can have fear and then still do whatever it is you're scared of anyways. Just see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to die, right? But you can see, you can even tell yourself, I'm just going to see what happens. You don't have to keep putting stuff out, but we don't know what's going to happen unless you do it.
Yeah. I feel like there's a certain perspective that you get. I mean, personally, um, I just want to know, like, I feel like sometimes with parents, friends, I care too much what they think and them seeing what I release online. For you, how was it with your sister, your mom, your dad in the beginning stages compared to how it is now? Like, how do they support you? Like, from a few years ago to now?
So yeah, I think I mean, you'd have to ask them, right?
Yeah.
To how they
Or
really feel.
how did you see it from your point of view?
Yeah, how what I th what how it's how I saw it was I don't think that my parents are pretty supportive.
Yeah.
And other than, the whole I didn't want to go to school anymore
Mm-hmm.
because that they weren't it's not like they were like, okay, great, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't
Yeah.
it wasn't like that. But when it came to supporting my music, they were pretty supportive.
Mm-hmm.
I would make a song and then I would show it to them. And they're critics, like my dad he's a critic
Yeah, he's a good critic.
Even today he's like, no, or he'll listen to it, but he was always invested, like, okay, what did you do, like I want to
Yeah.
hear it. But when it came to like setting up my studio,
Mm-hmm.
when I told him I wanted to I want to spend all this money, create a dedicated home studio, he was like, no, you're not going to do that, because that made it pretty
Yeah.
solid, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm doing when
Mm-hmm.
I committed to that.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't he didn't think I was gonna do it,
Take it serious.
take it serious. But I remember when he saw it, like when I had already had everything up, he was like, "Wow." Like, how did you do that? Because
Mm-hmm.
I put everything up
Oh,
pretty
you did? You
much.
put it by yourself?
Yeah, everything
I
there.
thought you got help from your dad or your
No,
mom.
maybe no, no,
Like to
definitely
put
not.
everything and assemble it on the wall, bring it in.
No, I did everything.
Oh.
Sometime, there might have been like a time or two
Mm-hmm.
where my dad he just happened to be home, and
Mm-hmm.
I asked him for help. But I did all of that, even the huge
Wow.
panels, I did that by myself. I had to learn, or I figured it out.
So you're a producer. How did you even know what to get for your studio? And how did you even get the skills to become a producer? Um,
Trial and error.
uh-huh.
When I first started producing, I produced it because I wanted beats for my song.
Uh-huh.
I wanted beats. I was a rapper, and
Yeah, I remember.
yeah, and my cousin Brandon he was a producer,
Uh-huh.
but he's busy,
Yeah.
right? He's not gonna just take his time out of his day. He
Give
has
you
his own
beats.
music,
Yeah.
his own life. So I didn't have anything, right? And I didn't have money,
Mm-hmm.
so I wasn't gonna buy anything. I was coming out of high school, so I was like, I guess I got to learn how to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked it. I loved it. I was recording, and I would play around with the keyboard. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know anything about music
Mm-hmm.
theory. People might tell you when I was in high school, I didn't even know how to clap to a beat. Like, it wasn't in my realm of like what I did. I'm not a good dancer. To this day, I'm not a good dancer,
Mm-hmm.
but trial and error.
Yeah. Dude, it's pretty interesting because I always tell Kelsey too, I wish that I could be a little more like you guys and be a little more take those risks that you guys take. And I'm very scared to take those risks. I'm a very conservative person, and I feel that you guys are more free. And I feel it's good to be free because you're able to do what you like, and it's the music, but you also work a 9 to 5 and you also have a girlfriend. So there's only 24 hours in a day, and you obviously need to sleep like 7 or 8 hours. How do you even balance the girlfriend, the 9 to 5 and the producer? Like, I don't know, tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's schedule. I'm run by my schedule.
Hmm.
If
So
it's
if I want
not
to
in,
book you, I need to book you.
you're in my schedule.
Yeah.
If it's not
Hmm.
in my schedule, it doesn't happen.
Hmm.
And I live by that.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
live by that. If it's not, I accept that I'm not going to do something
Uh-huh.
if I don't put it down in my
Yeah.
schedule. You know how people are like, oh, I'll do it someday. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So if I really want to do something,
You put it on your
it's
schedule.
in my schedule.
So another thing that I've noticed is I just barely started doing that, putting things on my schedule, and I learned it from my job. And I feel like it's been working very effective for me. But sometimes there'll be someone on the outside asking me, and I already have something scheduled on my block or whatever, and they'll ask me, "Hey, can we do this? Hey, do this for me." And I'm like, "What the heck?" And sometimes I'll stop what I'm doing, and whether it's, the podcast or something that I want to go assist the other person. and now I'm not following my schedule, and there's no boundaries being set. Like, how do you set that boundary? Like, hey, I'm working on this. Don't bother me. Like,
Well,
schedule me, or like,
it's pretty clear because people know it's set up
mm,
where people know what I'm up to. My parents know what I'm up to. Kelsey knows what I'm up to. My girlfriend knows what I'm up to.
mm-hmm,
And there's a way that they view me already. There's
mm-hmm,
a perspective that, okay, he takes care of his schedule. And then,
mm-hmm,
so when someone asks something like that of me, well, maybe I can do it. Let me look. Or maybe I could figure out a way to do it. Maybe I could do it after, before. I can take out hours of when I was going to sleep or something. I try to figure out how I can do it,
mm-hmm,
but I'm not going to. I'm going to do whatever it is I was going to do. I can try to figure out how I can do both,
mm-hmm,
or we could work with it. But
yeah,
I'm not going to do it if I can't do what I was supposed to do.
yeah,
Unless I can move it. I mean, there's
flexibility.
always flexibility.
Yeah,
But if I'm committed to doing something, I'm going to do that.
yeah, dude. I feel like that's very important. I mean, with this too, like, I felt like yesterday I wanted to invite you over at night and do like just invite you over to do the podcast, and we didn't have nothing scheduled yet. And I was talking to Kelsey about it, and I'm like, she's like, no, you need to tell him, you need to schedule it. And I felt as soon as I got the confirmation from you, I'm like, oh shit, now I have to do it.
Yeah.
And dude, I got so nervous. Like 20 minutes before you got here, I'm I'm so nervous. In the
Yeah.
first minute, honestly, I was shitting bricks, or
Really?
I'm so scared. But now, as the podcast is going and it's flowing, I feel more relaxed, more calm, and I feel maybe you can relate that to your music too. Like at first, you're nervous, and for those who don't know, you actually had your first or second performance in front of a pretty big audience up in Oakland, and Kelsey told me you're feeling a little nervous.
Yeah, definitely.
So like, how were you able to like start or like overcome
So
that? Because
there's
I
yeah.
struggle with that, dude.
So that's your feelings.
Yeah.
You can't control your feelings.
Hmm.
I have feelings. You have feelings. We all have feelings. Feelings are not going to tell you what to do and what you can do, what you can't do. I can have feelings and then I can go up and perform a song. It may not be good because I'm dealing with the anxiety,
Hmm.
the worries, and I have all that. I have the doubts. Am I going to sing good? I'm in my head. But it's not going to stop me from getting up there and doing it.
Hmm.
So I feel, I get but I don't make it all significant. I don't make it all big, like, oh, I'm feeling anxiety. I can't do this.
Yeah.
No,
And
it's like, okay, I acknowledge it. I got this anxiety,
yeah,
right?
and I feel like that's what happens to me. Like I just overthink it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
no, 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 and I just want to run away,
yeah.
and I
You
don't even
you
want to do
you
it.
probably even try to stop the anxiety.
Yeah.
No, it's there.
Uh-huh.
It'll go away. You probably had anxiety, in the beginning of this
Yeah.
interview. I had some, and then
Hmm.
you just, let it be. But then now it's not there, probably, right?
Yeah, no, I feel more relaxed for those, like, because there's a lot of people that probably deal with that, dude. Like,
Yeah,
um, and I growing up and presenting in school, like, if I got picked on by the teacher, hey, Anthony, like, read this, or
yeah,
go up on in front of the class, and I would get extreme anxiety from that. I would get nervous, my palms get sweaty, and I would always struggle with that. That's why I'm asking you, how did you overcome that? And it's very interesting. And I wish that I would have got to see you. I saw your first performance, and I thought you did great. Like you had said no, that you didn't perform great when we went. It was in North Hollywood, and I thought you did great. But like we had even talked about starting a third performance, and hopefully that comes into it's in the works basically. So
yeah. We're definitely gonna do that. I love it though. I love performing. I didn't really ever do it until like recently,
yeah.
and I really like it. Yeah, I enjoy it.
Yeah. But going back to like your music, I want to know a little more about what inspired you or who inspired you. You had said that you spoke to your dad. Um, but what famous artist inspired you? Or is it a family member that inspired? I mean, Brandon, you said, but what famous artist today, or dead or alive, like inspired you in your music, or who can you relate to? Or is it just a
Yeah.
style that you have on your own
Yeah, I
that
think about that often. I listened to so many things growing up that I can't even pinpoint too much. But I mean, if it wasn't for Brandon, my cousin, I wouldn't be making music, and I think I've told him that too. But I wouldn't be making music if it wasn't for him because it was just I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't know what I would be doing. But
yeah. I mean, you
so
said
I
an
think it.
accountant.
Yeah, I probably would have been. I was gonna be. I was majoring in business, and it would have been a focus in accounting. I'm pretty sure. But
Mm,
someone who inspired me. I love J. Cole,
mm.
but it was a little bit later in my life. I was like already a teenager. So before that was probably Drake. Loved it. I mean, dude, I would listen to Marvin's Room over and over again. I was sad.
Yeah.
I was sad. And um to this day I liked sad music. But that definitely made it, I liked Eminem. Um but before that I would listen to more like what was mainstream on the radio, I think.
Hmm.
So like alternative. My dad was always playing alternative music.
Yeah.
Always. Like I remember I would listen to like the Goo Goo Dolls,
Hmm.
Iris, but it wasn't there wasn't any like particular this person or this thing that
Yeah.
I can think of.
Because those groups that you just mentioned, the music that your dad listened to and J. Cole, they're all rappers. It doesn't really connect to the music that you do now,
Yeah.
which is like, how would you, what type of like genre or,
My own music,
yeah, like
it's kind
the,
of tough to explain, but it's kind of like a rap with a like um
it's like a very,
more
it's like, I get that it's very relaxed.
yeah.
I feel really like a soothing feeling when I'm listening to your
Yeah, I
songs.
tend to go to like more inspirational like rap type of music, pop-ish. But
Uh,
when I work on music, it could be, I mean, the drill beats. It could be like pop, and then um, like R&B and rap, and it's just all it all meshes in. I don't produce for every client that I work with.
mm,
Sometimes we just record and we track. Yeah.
yeah. And I want to know, like, because we had this conversation earlier, I feel earlier this week, that you're like, damn, 5 years ago or 4 or 5 years ago when I started music, I was, I was crappy. You said you were bad, and now you're like, damn, my work has gotten much better. So, dude, add another 4 or 5 years. Like, where exactly do you see yourself exactly? Like, because I feel like the sky's the limit. Like, I feel with you, like, there's a lot of things that all you need, like I told Kelsey all the time, is one song to like blow up, and you reach a bunch of people. And
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I see myself on a huge level.
yeah,
I don't know what's gonna happen, right?
yeah.
But I see myself on a huge level. And even if it's one of those things where I'm not like eager, like, oh, I gotta blow up right now. Um, I focus on what I do every day, which I love. I love making music. I love working with people, and I love getting better. I think that's the key, is I love my growth and my progress. I love the process more than I care about the results.
Yeah, a lot of people forget about they just want that end goal and they forget the journey, what it takes to get there. And when they get the prize, they're like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's why I don't stop.
Yeah.
I see people all the time and they're very like, oh, I hope this blows up. But, they just started.
Mm-hmm.
And, that could happen. I'm not saying that that won't
Yeah.
happen. A lot of people are talented. But if you aren't falling in love with what you're doing every day in the process and the growth, you're not gonna keep going. I wouldn't keep going if I didn't like what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
It's music, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love what I do, so I grow, and that's why I didn't stop. I think I've spent 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's been 7 years that I've been making music.
Damn.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a long time. Honestly, like what like I'm excited to see where you go from here. It's really interesting when I see a song come out before, when artists would put out a song, whether it's you or a famous artist out there, I was like, they just released a song. But now when a song's released, since I know more of like the process that with you, like before, like Kelsey and you show me a song and you're like, no, it needs to be mixed and mastered. I'm like, what the heck is mix and what do you mean mix and master? The song sounds perfectly fine to me. Like, but no, there's a lot of key elements. And when a certain artist release a song now, I'm like, damn, they had to go through making the cover art, making mixing and mastering, making the melody, or whatever the heck you call it, the lyrics. There's a lot of like key components, and it's just very interesting. And I feel like you might not give yourself enough credit, or I mean, you probably do, but you've done a really good job so far, is what I think.
I appreciate that. I think yeah, because I do, I produce a song,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then if it's my song that I produce a song,
Mm-hmm.
I'll write the lyrics, the melodies. I will mix the song, then I'll master the song. And I have my process down pretty well at this point. But to get good at all those things that I just told you, it took a long time. So I know I've been doing it for 7 years, but if I was just a producer or just a rapper, I think I would have been further.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the process of doing everything. I don't even regret it. But so I got pretty good at all those things. But I think I would have been a lot better if I would have just been one thing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like a producer
Yeah.
or a rap, because I would have been able to spend that time focusing.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I got good at all of them and I love doing it and I could do it all kind of, just in my studio. But yeah, it would be nice like having other people who have different like accountabilities with like the one rapper, one producer. But that's why I work with people. And I really enjoy working with people. Best music I'll ever do is when I'm working with people
Mm-hmm.
because it's like bounce off creativity.
Yeah, I mean, um, since you mentioned you work with a lot of people, you get clients all the time, right? Has there been a client that you're like, um, don't like to work with? And how is that confrontation? If you get a client that is difficult, do you still work with that person, or do you like, you know,
I'll always work with anybody.
anyone?
Yeah, I'll always work with anybody. I mean, just in general, I'm someone who can
Yeah, you're very
I can
work with
work with
anyone.
anybody.
Uh-huh.
Some people are, not I wouldn't say they're more difficult. I would just say they know what they want, right?
Yeah.
Like they know what they want, they know what they want to get. And it's never been I don't have, I've never had a client where I was like, I don't want to work with them.
Hmm.
Right. And it's always worked out. But yeah, sometimes it just took longer for us to get on the same page.
Yeah.
Right. Sometimes I have to like literally translate what someone says so that I can understand what's in their head.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like someone has something in their head. They might not always know how to put it into my head.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the process of communication. And um, if you are trying to get it right and be perfect all the time, this wouldn't work for you. Like just in general, like if you were a producer and it's hard working with
Yeah.
people because they have whatever's in their
Yeah.
mind, and you'll be wrong. There's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times where I'm wrong. My clients will tell you I'm wrong. They didn't like something I did or whatever because I'm still trying to figure out what's in their head, but we get to the place that we need to be.
What like feedback or tips do you have for inspiring producers, not just producers, but artists as well? Because you qualify as an artist as well. You released a song and you released music in the past. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who want to start, producing or putting music out there who are scared or they feel like they're not good singers for whatever reason. People probably tell them you're a crappy singer, but they could do it. So what feedback do you give them
I
or
would say
tips?
it's not about doing it, right? Like it's not about the results. It's not about if you're ever gonna blow up one day, because odds are you're not, right? Like the odds are most people who do music, they're not going to get to a certain level, but that's all defined by people's perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing it and you love it, don't stop. That's all you can find tips on YouTube, you can find books to read, but it all comes down to a consistency
Mm-hmm.
because you do what you love. There's a consistency. Don't stop doing it. Love what you're doing and make some great music. Be
Mm-hmm.
creative. So that's a
Yeah.
tip.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Where can like everyone out there who's listening, like is it Spotify, Apple Music? Where can they be listening, or where can they listen to the new song that you just released?
I don't know. People call me. It's like Natracks or
Mm-hmm.
Natracks, but you could find me on Instagram, Natracks, Natracks, and on there, have links and stuff. But just
Mm-hmm.
follow me there, and then
We'll put
there's
the
gonna
link
have
below.
there's big things coming. We'll have a show,
Mm-hmm.
right, where there's gonna be performers,
Mm-hmm.
and we are going to, yeah, we'll have things coming. So stay tuned.
Yeah. Thank you, Nathan. Peace.